Howdy, howdy. I spelled howdy wrong in the side chat, in case you're wondering. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me make certain that my audio is picking up. It is. All right. We good. Oh my goodness. You have coffee and you're ready to listen to smart women for sure. Yay. Hello, Krabby Hermit. Mr. Shadow Kitty is here. Wayne Terry. What's going on? Stool is in the chat. All right. Yay. So I have been not streaming for the past few weeks because I have been hyper super freaking busy. So I appreciate your patience. So a lot is going on. Um, I have a contract position with an organization that's nationwide. It's nationwide. I'm their chemistry expert, and I write curriculum for all of the online schools in the country. That's secondary science. So I'm finishing up my training on all that software. And I'm writing I'm writing curriculum, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's cool. Hey, Sinister Porpoise. So I'm doing that. It's a contractor position. So it's nice. It's nice work to be able to pick up and do. And it's not difficult for me because literally this is my job. It's my field. Um, I'm also looking at uh different opportunities that have been presented to me to expand my reach to involving education, publishing companies, um, also other institutions are looking to me for some help with closing achievement gaps. Uh, so I have lots of different opportunities that have popped up. So I'm trying to not say yes to everything, which is very difficult for me. And at the same time, I'm going, hey, this is great. This is great. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I spent all day yesterday in Mississippi looking at different facilities and some campuses, and they're interested in having me rebuild some things for them, which is cool. Then there's, like I mentioned, a publishing company. That would be remote work. So there's just lots going on right now. So I'm trying to sort out where I want to go, which direction. I can stay where I'm at. I can move to different things. I mean, I won't have to move, but maybe I can do some of these things on top of staying where I'm at. So it's pretty cool. Mr. Shadow Kitty watched the Mr. Rogers movie last night. Yes, he was a wonderful person. Sinister Porpoise says, I know ISU is seeking a computer science professor for their math CS department. Well, that's not me. So I'm, checking out different options as they pop up. It's always good to have your eyes open, and I'm having iced coffee today in my Wonder Woman glass. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've been doing lots of things. Been doing lots of things. I still have my day job and everything. Navigating all of that. Oh, it's okay. Chemistry physics department. It's pretty interesting. I also was interviewed yesterday for a thesis project at one of the resident area Ivy League school right around here where I live. Apparently, this graduate student had attended one of my seminars on implementing critical thinking skills and study skills within your lecture. So I've done a lot of work with professors, and I don't like to say, oh, I go and I give all of these lectures and these seminars and I do. I mean, that's part of what I've done for the past few years now is give talks about how to incorporate critical thinking as well as study skills, not just having a separate class. Today, we're going to learn how to critically think, but actively having that throughout your course, and incorporating it into your lecture, and teaching your students how to study for your class while you're teaching the class. So I do a lot of work with that. And this grad student attended one of my seminars that I had on incorporating critical thinking skills as well as study skills, like those soft skills that are needed, particularly in the workforce. Time management, how to organize your notes, how to organize your thoughts. What do you do with that information? What kind of tools do you use? So, incorporating some of those soft skills into your actual lecture while you're teaching and showing students how to study for your class. They are getting their PhD in education. And one of the things they want to do is to do research on how different professors in different disciplines incorporate critical thinking skills within their their courses, and how they teach their students in order to address achievement gaps, particularly among marginalized groups. So I'm like, this is awesome. So it was really cool. I got to do an interview like that for about an hour, and it was an enjoyable conversation. It's pretty neat to be able to talk about all the quirky. I consider myself a bit quirky and weird, but whatever. It's pretty neat to be able to talk about stuff like that and know that that's going to be part of somebody's research project. It's nice. It's a good feeling, as Mr. Rogers would say. It's a good feeling to know that your hard work is being appreciated and actively used to better the world, um, or at least in an education sense. But that's what I've been doing. I'm so tired, guys. I'm tired and I'm behind in work, believe it or not. Well, not too behind. I won't say I'm behind. Behind for me is on time for everybody else because that's the perfectionist I am. I have extremely ridiculous standards for myself, and I accept that. I accept that criticism from others. Okay. So it's good to see you guys. It's good to see you all in the chat. Hey, native atheist, how you doing? Just been catching up on what I've been up to. I've been really busy. But let me see. You guys want to have a look at Nina? She's doing all right. She's still the keeper of the Funko Pops. What's up, Neen? You all right? You want to say hi to everyone? She's so little. Can you say hello? Say hi, everyone. I'm making certain Mel's doing her job. And I'm sitting on my pile of Funko Pops like a dragon. So that's how she's doing today. Ooh. Oh my goodness. So let's see what's been going on in the news. God. What hasn't been going on in the news? My hamster is weird. Well, it's a big hamster stool. And I understand you have very strong knowledge of hamsters. Particularly after they've thawed out, huh? That was a cheeky joke. Not usually what I would say on here, but Stool is in the chat, so we know how he is. We know how he is. All right. Oh, gosh. Derailed my train of thought. Don't know that I really had one. so much. So it's all right. Let's see what's going on in the news. What do y'all want to talk about? Is there anything in particular that's popped up that you're like, oh my gosh? There's a product I can talk about. A controversy surrounding Ada Lovelace has been more or less resolved. So let's look that up. A simple solution to a lengthy controversy. All right. Well, let's see what's going on with this. We've got Science Direct. I've got this going on here. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Ada Lovelace. So here is this article. Let's have a look at it and see what's going on. And you can click on it too. I'm going to blow this up. Blow it up. One of my favorite things to do, speaking of explosive things, I like to talk about how I messed up. Who's Ada Lovelace? That's a great question. She was a mathematician early on. And let's see. Let's get a little history on Ada Lovelace. I believe she was related to Lord Byron. Let's see. Let me find. They considered her a programmer, but she actually made pretty cool contraptions. Where is Lord Byron's daughter? Thank you, Michael Roble. She's a mathematician. Let me see if I can find a decent. I don't want the controversy. I just want Ada Lovelace. Let me see if I can find a decent. I don't want Wikipedia. We'll go to Britannica. I will never forget the time that I was reading Jilly Juice's scientific paper, and I laughed and laughed because she cited the dictionary and the encyclopedia as her sources. I'm like, this is not how to science, but all right. Okay, so here's Ada Lovelace. Thank you. There we go. There's Ada Lovelace just hanging out. She made all kinds of really cool contraptions and stuff. She was born in 1815 and died at the young age of 36. Hey, what do you guys think? The good old days when you died in your 30s. Lord Byron. Ada King, Countess of Lovelace, Augusta Ada Byron. All righty. She was, English mathematician and associate of Charles Babbage. Oh, yeah. For whose prototype of a digital computer she created a program. So that's not what I wanted to do. Early programmer, computer programmer. You were trying to think of someone less obscure. So they put together like all kinds of different contraptions and stuff. She became the Countess of Lovelace. So she was pretty interested in Charles Babbage's machines, and she was introduced to Babbage by their mutual friend Mary Somerville. So, analytical engine. Let's jump into this. So this is a thing that she helped build. Rather than read so much about her, she got into early programming. So this was a portion completed 1910 of Charles Babbage's analytical engine. only partially built at the time of Babbage's death in 1871. This is the mill or the functionality analogous to a modern computer central processing unit and printing mechanism. The analytical engine wasn't digital. Thank you, Sinister Porpoise, for the $2 super chat. It was never built, but a portion was built in 1910. So they proposed the idea of the analytical engine. So you can check out Britannica.com. I want to hear more about this controversy. Yes, she built machines that did one function. Well, I mean, even doing one function is still something, you know. So Ada Lovelace's mathematical abilities have been widely questioned due to a misdating of her correspondence with Augustus de Morgan. Despite its correction in the academic record, this error persists in popular depictions of her work, undermining Lovelace herself and women in general. More scholarly examinations of historical women in STEM would enrich our understanding of their contributions and bolster their positions as role models. To be fair, a lot of women in science have been erased or completely ignored, and later have been brought forward as saying, hey, this dude didn't discover the thing. This lady did, and he took her stuff and said it was his. That happens all the time. And it happens even now. I know of some professors. I will not say who, because I don't feel like getting blacklisted today, who make grad students do all of the work and then leave their names off of papers or even take credit for the work that the grad students did. I'm just going to take a moment to step onto my soapbox. Just give me a moment here. Okay. So, those who are not in the know, a lot of institutions require that a grad student publish a certain amount of papers before reaching the PhD status. So, a thing that some do, not all colleges, not all universities, hashtag not all universities, not all of them do this, which is why it's really, really important. And I'm very honest with my students because I am sick of the gatekeeping that I see in academia, and I address it full on. And sometimes I'm a little bit blunt, but I really don't care anymore. So, anyway, a lot of research professors or research mentors, primary investigators, PIs, will leave the names of their grad students off of some of their papers as a means to keep them in the program longer so they will continue to do research for that professor. It's pretty shady. It's really gross, but it happens more often than you think. And I can name some professors that I know who do this, but I'm not going to because, again, I don't feel like getting blacklisted. But my tips for you, fellow science people, individuals who wish to pursue a master's degree or a PhD in any form of academia, doesn't even have to be STEM, okay? Look at the numbers associated with the program that you're interested in. How often does a lab or a professor graduate a woman? How often do they graduate people who are not white? Like black or brown people. How often do they graduate those individuals? What What's their turnover rate? How many people get involved in that program and then leave? You want to talk to other students who have already graduated from that program. Downside of being a grad student, you want to be honest with certain people and you want to answer their questions. But if you talk bad about your PI and your PI finds out, or if you talk bad, not even about your PI, if you criticize and you say, I don't like it when they do this, but I'm almost done with my program or something like that, you're likely going to get kicked. You might get kicked, particularly if that PI is not open to criticism, not open to hearing how to serve you better as an educator. So grad students will not be in a position where they can be fully honest with you. So talk with grad students who have already graduated from the program. Few of them, find out who all's left that lab and call them. Call them, email them, whatever you got to do, and say, what do you think about this lab? You can have quiet lunch with somebody who's already out of the program and they will be honest with you. I've had, so I say this having seen this stuff happen firsthand, having gone to a graduate department to discuss this, like the overall department of a particular place, mentioned it, and nothing happened. And it doesn't matter. So, anyway, anyway, I am not surprised at all if stuff regarding Ada Lovelace, they just completely erase her contributions because it happens. Happens mostly to women and people of color, but it does also happen to other grad students, you know. But women tend to be a bit more targeted for that sort of thing. So, let's have a look a bit more about Ada Lovelace before we jump into this. Oh gosh. Before we move on, the fact that the statement Ada Lovelace was the first computer programmer is controversial says a lot more about modern attitudes toward women in computing than it does Lovelace's abilities or achievements. While recent reappraisals of Lovelace's mathematical education and knowledge have gone some way towards setting the record straight, further work to recontextualize Lovelace's achievements is still needed. And even more work will be required to repair the misconceptions about her that are still prevalent in popular discourse. A re-examination of many other women in STEM is essential if we are to shed biased and factually inaccurate portraits of historical figures, and thus the influence such portraits have on the perceived abilities of contemporary women. So we do have to kind of think about um what women were like property for the longest time. Women were considered property for the longest time. Um, you know, I can't if you were the whole idea was to get married, and have somebody take care of you. Now, I'm not saying that it's the same as enslaved individuals. That's a completely separate thing. The horrible stuff with that. But speaking from like a women's history perspective, women were considered property. If a woman had a scandal, her husband could take her kids, could put her in an asylum for just saying something back to them. they didn't have any rights. Um, they didn't have any rights at all. Hello, big zebra. And they couldn't even own property. So at the time of Ada Lovelace, the fact that she was even included in any kind of mathematical discussions, let alone be allowed to build something, that was just unheard of. She clearly had the devil in her because women, bless them, they're stupid, they just want to sit around and look pretty. You're like, no, that's what you guys wanted women to do. That's what the men folk wanted the women folk to do. Sit around, look pretty, drink tea, talk to the other ladies, wear these nice, uncomfortable looking clothes. It's just, they weren't allowed to do anything outside of what their husband wanted. Hey, harmonica man. So this whole idea, still about women in STEM and women in science. I mean, women have only had the vote in America for about 100 years. Betty White was born before women could vote. So we had, just a handful of years ago, people living on this planet who were born in the time when women couldn't even vote. They couldn't have property. And one thing that they had to do was, if there was a property and a husband died and he had nothing but daughters, none of the daughters would get anything, except, they would have to, it would go to the next male in line, which could be a distant cousin. So it doesn't surprise me that people are getting Ada Lovelace wrong. Women programmed all of the computers in NASA. I mean, we had a whole movie, Hidden Figures, about Katherine Johnson and her contributions. She wasn't even allowed to pee in the same bathroom as white women. So it's like, hey, Hans. So it's all really frustrating. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said, our department looks like a white people convention. And I really want more diversity here. We really, really need it. It was like a white people convention. I'm like, yeah. So it's like, okay, but he's not wrong. A lot of academia looks like a white people convention. Look at freaking Jordan Peterson. He quit his job. Because he got his feelings hurt about diversity. Jordan Peterson, my God, he's just gross. Why people gotta be so gross? Ugh. We're just lucky, I guess. Women are just lucky to be included in the conversation. I can't imagine what it's like to be a black woman or a brown woman. I listen to them and I'm gonna just take what they have in consideration and just say, okay, what do you need me to do? Just being a woman's tough enough, but being a black or brown woman, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Oh, anyway. It's funny. Recently I was called racist. I was called racist on Twitter by a woman who looks as white as me, and she had other friends that are also white who called me racist. Turns out she has indigenous heritage. That same group. And they took everything I said. I even said things that were hyperbole, like, gosh, I'll just burn down the building for anybody that I care about, and it was hyperbole. And I said, you're not allowed to claim racism. Hey, native atheist, what's up? Heads up, Mel. All right, something's happened. Thanks for the $10 super chat. But my great grandmother was Native American, but I don't claim Native American. I mean, I say that I have ancestry that's Native American, but I don't say I'm Native American and you're being racist against me. The issue that I took was that this woman she was adopted. She was brought up in a very white house, had an affluent life. Now all of a sudden is very angry, and rightly so. What happened to her was, not cool. It was traumatic what happened in her life. But she was making and implying that somebody was being racist against her for criticizing a stance that she had on adoption. And I take offense to that. Okay? I take offense to that. She clearly benefits from white privilege. And that's something she's going to have to sort with in her head at some point in time. She's going to have her own little come to Jesus talk and sort through that in whatever manner she needs to. She benefits from white privilege, despite the fact that she has, um, indigenous ancestry. I do too, but I'm not going to call somebody racist for criticizing me. Do I look indigenous? I do not have that culture on me. I don't participate in any tribes. And if somebody's online and they criticize me, my go to isn't, how dare you speak to an indigenous person like that when I look like this? So I was called racist for criticizing a woman who is as white as a soccer Karen mom throwing a fit at a Starbucks, okay? Saying and implying that somebody is racist for criticizing her. That's what I take offense to. And it is one of the most racist things that you can do, to claim somebody is racist for criticizing you when, number one, you don't look like a person of color. Nobody automatically assumes that I have indigenous heritage and I don't get special treatment. You know what I mean? And number one, assuming and playing that racism card is really freaking gross. It's gross. Oh, she did violence because she said that I was a white Karen, even though I have indigenous ancestry. I didn't know. Neither did anybody else who was involved in that conversation. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. We don't sit here, go around and saying, oh, hey, we have to be extra, sensitive to this person here because they have indigenous ancestry. Normally, I try to be sensitive to things like that. But if you're sitting here calling somebody's employer, saying that somebody's racist for criticizing you, well, criticizing your stance on a particular inflammatory topic, you're playing the racist card when you don't look like an indigenous person for somebody where the color of your skin had nothing to do with the comment. That's even worse. So they're trying to push the racism card when they don't even look like nobody knew what their race was, 1. And 2, it had nothing to do at all with the conversation. That disgusts me. You don't get to play that card when you benefit from white privilege. And you don't get to do that. That makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. It's like, it's just awful. It's awful. And so her and all her friends, oh, she did verbal violence towards me by saying that I benefit from white privilege and I look like a white Karen. Well, you act like a white Karen, okay? You act like a white Karen. You contacted somebody's job because they disagreed with you and implied that they were racist. And then when that's turned on you and your friends, you ran screaming for the hills, afraid that you were going to get in trouble. I've been bullied. Nobody's bullying you. I mean, Krabby Hermit says, Mel, at least you can keep your humor showing more than your anger, at least to those of us who battle to be nice to a-holes. I try hard to be nice to these people. And then one of those people actually contacted my work. I don't have anywhere on my social media where I work. So they had to deep dive and dig around and find out who my employer was. But the good news is I already told my boss that, I have an internet presence. That's part of the reason why I even got my job. That's part of the reason why I still get a lot of job offers because of my internet presence. And because of the different connections I've made from that. So one of their buddies, she criticized my paper on her Twitter. I'm going to sue her for slander. This person doesn't know how science works. I criticize a lot of papers. Oh, it was funny. But honestly, these people got really weird. So I filed police reports. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to file a police report to show them I don't play. I've been down this road before with a malignant narcissist who made like 30 plus accounts pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman, pretending to be couples. And they used that to try to do smear campaigns to torment me mentally and emotionally. They'd hop on live streams and pretend to be a woman to find out where I was traveling to. It was like a real freaking thing. The police got involved with that, FBI cybercrimes. So I'm like, okay. So I happened to criticize somebody's paper on my Twitter, or not even that. I asked for input from experts in the field because it wasn't my field. I didn't even say something was wrong with it. I said, hey, have a look. Let me know what you think about this paper. I said, it's not original research. It wasn't like empirical. It was an opinion. And it was published as an opinion. And that's fine. The opinion papers are great. They help us ask questions for research. And I say that in that thread. I said, I think it's great that we have perspective and opinion papers. So they took that, had their husband message me, you're attacking us. They even said that they were going to try to find out who I was and were asking people for my docs on their Twitter. And I'm like, okay, these are the same people that like call people's bosses. I tagged their university and I tagged their local police department. I said, they're trying to dox me. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want anything to do with them. Told her husband, I don't want to talk to you guys. So what does this woman do? Digs. I don't know how long she spent trying to figure out where I worked. She spent time and energy to find out where I worked just to email a complaint to HR. And my boss already knew about them. Some of my colleagues watched my show. So I'm like, okay, so they're getting weird and creepy now. So I need to go ahead and file a police report and start a paper trail because I've done this before. So I did. And then they lost their minds. They got really mad and really quiet. And then all of a sudden they're victims. They're victims. She called the police on me. Well, I said, I don't want to talk to you. I didn't actually say anything defamatory in that thread. I didn't threaten you. I didn't threaten to hurt you. You contacted my job as a means to threaten me. What did you think was going to happen? Of course, I contacted the police. I know where you work. Told them where you work. Gave them your phone number. And now all I do is collect online information, put it in the file, and update the police report. That's what you do. So being a woman in science on the internet, lesson here. If you have a contradictory opinion, sometimes other women will do whatever they can to tear you down. How dare you speak out against me? Don't you know who I am? Woo! Sinister porpoise. I don't know which person you're thinking of. There are people that hate me. It's all right. Anger is toxic, Crabby Hermit. I'm just like, boy, they think I sit around thinking about them all day. I'm like, I don't have time to think about awful people. Other people can let me know, oh, this horrible person's about to do this. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll save it in a file, or contact the appropriate people who need to know that. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to contact that other person's law school. They go to law school. And I'm like, this is not how stable people act. They actually harass and go after surrogate mothers and infertile women. And I'm just like, this is pretty gross. But I'm just collecting evidence. Just collecting evidence at this point. Yeah, professors and college students are stressed out this time of year, Sinister Porpoise. It's pretty scary with they are stressed out. We're moving towards finals. We have finals at the end of this month where I work. And I'm behind on grading. Not totally. Most of the stuff that they do in my class is automatically graded. But I have to curve and I have to update. I have to check to make certain that the auto grading was okay. And then I have papers that I have them right. Mostly just one paper I have them right. So I need to go through. I'm going to do that tomorrow, update on that. Today, I'm going to finish all that training to write for curriculum for the country. So people get mad. People just want to stay angry and they want other people to be their punching bags. Well, I got news for you. I've been traumatized lots of times, but that doesn't give me an excuse to go and be abusive to other people. You don't get to do that. I mean, at some point in time, you've got to take responsibility for your own healing. Yeah, I didn't have the best parents in the world all the time. My mom did the best she could, but she messed up and she's come to terms with her mistakes. We've worked through it and we grew. I go to therapy sometimes to deal with it. Ain't no thing. I'm going to take responsibility for my healing because I'm a grown up, right? I've had things happen to me. I cannot control what other people do to me, or try to do, but I can control how I respond. And I can control how I treat other people. I'm not overtly nice to abusive people. I understand why people lash out. So, um, but understanding why, I mean, it's still not an excuse to be abusive to other people. You aren't allowed to do that. That's why we have laws, Somebody's like, I witnessed a mass shooting, therefore I'm going to go do mass shooting because I've been hurt. But that's kind of the excuse, that we allow mass, particularly if they're white. Okay. White mass shooters, oh, they're just troubled. They need to be coddled and stuff. Oh, does that black guy have something that looks like a gun? Let's shoot him 37 times. Oh, wait, it's a shower head or it's his cell phone in his grandma's backyard. It's just still, it's I would like to think that just because you had something happen to you does not mean you get to abuse other people because you had something happen to you. Um, and the excuses that I see for people being awful to each other. Well, I got upset and they did these horrible things to me. Okay. We don't get to choose the things that happen to us. We don't even get to choose about being born. We don't get to choose who our parents are, whether biological or adopted. We don't get to choose what our life circumstances are in most cases. Um, we don't get a lot of choice in a lot of things. We don't. So there is no cognition about, hey, I'm going to plan my life. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to pick who my parents are. I'm going to pick who my friends are. I'm going to pick which kind of experiences I have. I'm going to pick what my income level. You don't get to pick any of that. Um, so it makes me nuts when people sit here and think, well, I didn't get to choose to have this happen to me. I'm going to be abusive to other people. Well, I didn't get to choose a lot of things. I didn't get to choose who my dad was. He was not a very nice person. It's pretty terrible. Didn't get to choose how he treated me or my mom. Didn't get to choose a lot of things. There's not a lot of choice in life. So if we're going to sit here and base everything on whether or not you have a choice in something, there are some things you will never have a choice in. And the things that you can have a choice in, that's where it matters. That's all I'm going to say about that. There are some things you don't have a choice in because it's impossible for you to have a choice in it. It's just impossible. It just, whatever. It's all nuts. Just everything is nuts. But yes, I'm a little bit behind with some of the grading. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to update all of that. I'm going to email everybody, get a good baseline, say this is where we're at. We're moving forward. We're going to get this done. It'll be okay. So, gosh, what a big old mess. I've missed having my show, though. I've missed you guys. I've had so much going on. I had a family emergency this week. Everybody's okay, but it just, and my nephew he's still in chemotherapy and he still has a spot on his spine for his Ewing sarcoma. They're hoping that after the chemotherapy rounds that it'll shrink or go away because I have a feeling it won't be operable. So I've been trying to be supportive in that. So he's 9. And he's already had major surgery in his leg to remove one tumor. He had another one on his hip, on his pelvis. So I don't know if that shrunk or not. And then he has one on his spine. So, been busy. And my back hurts. I'm at that age, guys, where you just wake up and you're like, what hurts today? Anyway, I was going to, I can, let's have a look. I've posted this recently. on my I ran into somebody. It's okay. Like I said, I appreciate the sympathy. I've long since dealt emotionally with a lot of these things, but that's all right. Okay. I will try to do more. I'll try to plan better so I can do my Saturday morning science with you guys. Um, I've just been super, super swamped. So thank you for your patience with that. In the meantime, I do pop around on my Twitter. You can catch me doing stuff there. It's 10 a.m. Central. That's a lie, ScientistMel. You hadn't been streaming for a few weeks, right? I'm going to hear that. There's me right now talking about stuff. I think I shared the audio. Oh, by the way, the same like group of people who were like, we're being silenced when you block us, reported my Twitter at the point they reported it so much. These bored individuals who have nothing better to do at their time reported my Twitter so much that it set it to permanent on not safe for work. That I have graphic images on my Twitter. And they think, oh, well, she's clearly disturbing. Otherwise, why would Twitter do that? Because we know Twitter never makes mistakes, do they? Their algorithm isn't ever wrong. So now I have to appeal every single thing. And I can't even turn off this setting. They're like, have you tried turning off the setting? Yeah, let me show you. We go here, privacy and safety. Where is your tweets? See, mark your media. You tweet as having material that may be sensitive. That's permanent. I can't change it because they false flagged me so much. That's how terribly stable these individuals are. Um, I'm like, that's fine. That just makes me a bit more interesting, doesn't it? That just makes me a bit more interesting. That's all. So let's have a look. I'm going to show you guys this thing. This is Russell Kane. Yeah, they did that. They did that on Twitter. Yeah, they can be programmed, and there's no way to appeal it, guys. I looked into it. There's no way to appeal it. Let's take a look at this wonderful graph. We'll just go through some of my Twitter. What's wrong here? Why is this graph bad? Why is this graph bad? Look at this. What must you always do when watching the news? Check the y-axis. It's nice to know that 382 is a lot less a lot less than 336. That's my favorite. 382 is a lot less than 336. Isn't that great? And look, all these 336 steadily going up over time. And it looks like somebody decided to do like a rainbow color, Roy G. Biv, but red, orange, yellow, green, blue. They have 3 greens, 1 yellow, 1 orange, 2 reds. Well, kind of reddish. All of these are the same color. And then you get blue. Yeah. So it's interesting colors along with some crazy math. Yep. Right there, man. How nuts is that? Oh God. And then this guy, he's a weather guy. He talks about he clarified a bit. He said the weather forecast graphics suite has changed over time from various companies and is often used for other functions, voting returns, sports scores. He's a weather guy on TV that follows me, etc. This graphics was plain laziness and not double checked. numbers before it hit the air. Measure twice, cut once. So I like that various people follow me on Twitter so they can kind of clarify. So this dude, the mayor of the North Pole, Alaska, is a man who legally changed his name to Santa Claus. Looks exactly like Santa Claus and is also a big Bernie M4A guy. He's now running for Congress against Sarah Palin. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. You know, Santa. I know him. I don't know why Facebook thinks I'm Jewish, but that's all right. Happy Jewish holidays to individuals who celebrate. This is a magic 8 ball. I'm not certain what this inscription is on the front, but you know, I appreciate that it's made. That's kind of neat. Yes, Bitcoin bull has no testicles, but it does have a booty hole, doesn't it? But I didn't say that. I was going to say, you know, reference. It's a bit of a joke here. Has an a-hole, as do most things on Wall Street and in finance. Hey, godless scummer, what's going on? Let me see. Yeah, Mike Stock, he recently said a lot of stupid stuff on Twitter about the vaccine, but that's all right. Let me see if I can find. I always thought this was interesting. A political philosopher. Trans men are men, but trans women are not women. Well, they're making a big stink about, you know, trans women using women toilets, but nobody's really worried about trans men using men's toilets because I think they're completely fine with violence against trans folks. It's not about safety, is it? Oh, trans men are men. That's completely fine. Well, if a trans man is beaten to death in a bathroom, nobody's worried. Trans men can't be in the, you know, men's bathroom. They're not you know, because men are the ones that are harmful. Well, if men are harmful, why are they okay with trans men being in men's bathrooms if they're biologically women, right? Nobody's talking, I mean, because it's not about safety, is it? Um, I do is consent. Ooh. Oh, he blocked me. Josh Love, who said that Christian women have, you know, saying I do and getting married, being married, women getting married is consent. Well then. Okay. So it seems that Josh blocked me. That's interesting. I do is not consent. I thought this was pretty funny. I'm trying to get to a video that I made. It was Mr. White, take off your ridiculous hat. He's like, huh? He's got a rat there. Yo, Mr. Wright, is that White? Is Ratatouille on your head? Ratatouille, yeah. Jesse, his name is Remy, and he helps me cook. The He-Mandalorian. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey. Here we go. Here's a good joke for you. I can probably get away with this one. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all are going to hate me, but I don't care. Y'all are going to hate me, but I don't care. Roses are red. April is gray, but in a few weeks, it's going to be May. Roses are red. April is gray, but in a few weeks, it's going to be May. You're welcome. That's always funny to me. He and I had the same choir teacher, actually. Justin Timberlake and I. We had the same choir teacher. Small world. It's gonna be May. Because he says me weird. So let me find, where is that video that I did? Yeah, I'm visiting Mississippi today. I forget it's a whole nother world. Y'all going to Jackson, Mississippi, you gonna learn today. It is a whole other world. Let me see if I can find, where was, shout out to Dr. Kalata Berry, always spreading positivity and love for women in science. She's great. You should follow her. This made me laugh pretty hard. One of my final years sent me a blank email with only this image when I asked to see the current draft of her dissertation. Honestly, I almost fell out of my chair laughing. Shared with permission. That's how it is, though. How's that final draft going? Oh, God. Yeah, consent for life. I'm unable to see that? No, I should be able to see that. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so I made this video. This is a Russell Kane video. He had it on Facebook, but he deleted it for some reason. I hope I'm gonna stop sharing and then reshare for a second because I don't know if I didn't share the system audio. So let's have a go with this. It's not anywhere on his Twitter anymore. Yeah, for real, Godless Summer. I do is not Godless Summer. I almost said Godless Summer. That sounds like a film from the 80s. Godless Summer. Is it a horror film or is it a film about summer camp if it's set in the 80s? Or is it both? All right, so let's have a look. Public service announcement from Russell Kane.
Do your own research. Go on, run off and do your own research. People that keep saying that, just a polite request from those of us that don't like hearing it. Fuck off. Now, the issue isn't that I've got an issue with you doing your own research and coming to your own conclusions. If you want to do your own research and come to a conclusion that a medication will turn you into a Prince Andrew lizard Illuminati, I think the time has come for me to stop being horrible to you. It's your body, your choice, do what you like, but please, I beg you, stop with a smug face, keep saying, do your own research. Do you know why? Because many of us, sorry to speak for so many of you watching, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and think that you think the same as me. Many of us can't be fucking arsed and don't want to.
Fair enough, right? This is why we have scientists. This is why we have scientists to do the research so you don't have to. I felt this in my soul. And I know the stuff I added around it. It's really not, Russell Kane's just great. I was trying to make it better, but I really can't. Russell Kane is just amazing.
In fact, let me give you a tip. If you're constantly being hit with friends or family members saying, you need to do your own research, this is the best possible reply you can give. I don't want to do my own research. I can't be bothered to do my own research. And even if I did my own research and found something out, I wouldn't give a fuck and I'd ignore it on purpose whilst wanking.
Okay. I mean, sorry, I should have given you a heads up that there are sweary words. There's sweary words in here. I'm sorry, I should have said sweary words. It's cheeky. Hashtag Russell Kane, caning. He calls this a caning. So yes, you wouldn't do it.
That normally shuts them up. If they persist going, this is just a way of controlling you. Aren't you bothered about being controlled? Reply with, no. I'm so fucking exhausted from working my tits off trying to earn money to pay bills, make my business successful, or just keep my head above water, or I'm a workaholic like me, that I don't have time to be asked. It would be quite nice to be controlled for a day and told what to fucking do. I'm knackered. That normally shuts them up.
That's why I love this. I'm like, yes, I'm exhausted. Somebody please control me and tell me what to do. Oh my God.
I'm not saying you have to believe these things, but a healthy dose of irony normally does the trick. And the third one, which really does shut down like Skepta, is this. Aren't you bothered about an experimental chemical going into your body? You need to do your own research. Just say to them, Dave, Lee, Gary, Kev, you spent most of the noughties licking pill dust off the floor, not giving a shit. How's this for a theory? The more experimental the drug, the more excitingly dangerous it is, the more I'm fucking up for it.
But think about it. Okay, former DJ here who actually, DJ'd, oh God, well over 5 years in a tri-state area, including frat parties, weddings, high school dances, middle school dances. It's like freaking raves. Didn't really have the rave vibe going on with the stuff I did, but I knew people who hit the rave scene. Yes. They were licking pill dust off the floor. These are people that are now going, did you do your own research? It's like you weren't too worried about that in the club. Well, I did go to clubs. When I saw you passed out in your own vomit, thankfully somebody rolled you over to the side on a club floor. People doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, these are the same people that are worried about experimental drugs and chemicals.
If there were 2 drugs and one was more experimental and dangerous than the other, get it in my fucking arm and get me to the dance floor where we can all double drop bats and pangolins and have a fucking rave. That will probably shut them up altogether. So number 1, do my own research. No, don't want to, can't be asked, don't care. Number 2, do your own research, you're being controlled. Good, I just want to be held and carried round.
Yep.
And number 3, it's an experimental drug. Good, bang it in me. Fucking pangolin party.
But yes, I have this actually on my YouTube channel, another place. I get into the numbers as well. So I do add a little bit to it on the back end of his caning and his rant. So you can check this out a bit later. We're counting on you. Get vaccinated now. Do your own research. So that's on my Twitter. It's also on my YouTube. If you want to share it around anytime somebody is like, did you do your own research? Link them to that. You can find it on my YouTube and you can find it on my Twitter. It's probably on Facebook somewhere too, on my own Facebook. Science of. Most of the resources needed to do accurate research is behind paywalls. This is true. So there you go. Do your own research. Oh no, dude. Why would I do that? I mean, doing your own research can also include asking experts in the field what they think, rather than what some random Facebook group that spews nonsense has to say on the topic. That's not quite useful, is it? How do we do our own research? Ask experts in the field. If you want to dig into it. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I'm trying to catch up on stuff. The reason some people believe in chemtrails is because they did their own research. They did, didn't they? Godless Scummer says, when someone tells me they've done their own research, it really means they watched someone else's crappy YouTube video. Yes. I mean, YouTube videos can be pretty useful, but it's not peer reviewed, is it? And unless they have, and even then, you look at PragerU. Golly, it's painful trying to get through one of those with all of the wrong stuff they have in some of those videos. You got to be careful. And we just don't teach people how to consider the source, right? What is the source? Okay, it's a study. Is it a good study? I've recently been made aware of a new product that the kids are drinking. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. This made me laugh so hard. Here it is. Okay. Guys, join with me in this hilarious Gesundheit. Thank you. Alrighty. I think I sneezed. I did sneeze, didn't I? I sneeze so often now. It's just like, whatever. All right. So let's have a look at this. liquidiv.com. Hey, guys. This is the latest and greatest in hydration. And you can learn. Let's learn. Let's learn the science. What is cellular transport technology? I think I might have talked about this last time on the show. If I did, guys, tell me. It's felt like forever. What is cellular transport technology? CTT. I laughed so hard when I first saw this. Sodium, potassium, glucose, water. That's the CTT. That's what makes this awesome. All this is like freaking electrolyte solution. This is Gatorade or Pedialyte in a compact form. Hydration multiplier. Now they got pretty cool flavors, grape, cherry, acai. I think they said that's acai berry, guava, lemon, lime, passion fruit, and a variety pack. How much is this? $24 for 16 packs. Look at that. It's an electrolyte drink. That's it. And people are forking over their cash for this stuff. And it has essential vitamins. And you can get 20% off. So you can get a whole $4, maybe $5 off. What is that? 20% off of 24. That's what, $4.80, something like that. So you can get like $5 off essentially and pay $20 for a 16 pack. Cellular transport technology. I laughed pretty hard. Let's look at, Pedialyte. Okay. I mean, they sell 18 packets for $30, but you can also get generic version. You can get the generic version. Look at this. It's the same thing. This comes in a 10 pack for $2 at Walmart. I hate Walmart, but you can probably get something similar that's not Walmart, You can probably get something that's not Walmart. So, well, I mean, $2 for a 10 pack of generic one. I mean, you could walk around and pretend that you got the fancy IV version. Ooh, I got this IV version. Pull it out, put it in my, nobody would know. Cotton candy hydration multiplier. This is ridiculous. Click on all. Who buys this stuff? This is geared towards people who don't have the money to spend on this. Or with their cellular transport technology, if you're like, I want to do this, You can just put in a little bit of salt. You know, you could drink some salty water, I guess. Eat a banana. You could eat a banana, drink some water. You know, if you really want, I want added glucose. Well, you probably get the same amount of glucose in the banana that you're eating. Eat that and drink a glass of water. That's your hydration. It's ridiculous. And people spend money on this stuff. You don't need it. You don't need it. You can walk around and say, I have liquid IV, but I have it organic and all natural. How do you do that? I get me a glass of water and I eat a banana. Same thing. And you get all of the vitamins, you get the potassium, you get the sodium that you need. You get all kinds of other vitamins. Got a little bit of fat in there, so it works with the fat soluble vitamins. Drink you some water. But people will spend money on this stuff. People will spend money on this stuff. Oh my goodness. So, what do you guys want to talk about next week? If I were to do a show next week, what are you interested in? You have a magical talisman that increases your skeptical abilities, Hans? That's amazing. Dihydrogen monoxide therapy. That's right. That's right, Mr. Shadow Kitty. But bananas are scary. Only for men that are not stable in their own sexuality. They're not comfortable with their own sexuality. Dudes who get afraid to eat bananas in public. It might look like something. Just eat a banana. Unless you're allergic. If you have an allergy to latex or bananas, don't do that. How much I hate calculus, but that wouldn't make a good show. 1 week spring is here. Next week, winter comes back. That's true, Krabby Hermit. Maybe I could have Nina direct the show. Do you want to direct the show next week, Nina? Come here. All right, Nina. What are we going to talk about next week? The importance of cuddles and how much you demand my attention. Do we need to talk about that? Do we need to talk about how you bark at me when I come home and you don't ever bark any other time except when I come home? And you're like, you won't bark now, will you? You just licked my nose. Okay. Eat a banana with a knife and fork. If you're going to do that, man, make you a peanut butter and banana sandwich and eat it that way. Go Elvis style. Fried banana, peanut butter and banana sandwiches. My mama used to make me those. But then again, she was an Elvis fan. Twitter will suggest many topics to cover. It always does. Yes. We could talk about how terrible Morbius is. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm going to go see Morbius, guys. I hear it's just ick. I have an uncompleted molecule over here. That's just shameful. I need to fix that. Peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Check this out. Here is 17-year-old ScientistMel. Look at that lady. She looks like she's on a Seinfeld episode. Look at that. Is that Elaine from Seinfeld? Might be. That was 17-year-old me. Had a bit of a rounder face, didn't I? I really liked that yellow suit. That was like a yellow short suit. It was like shorts and it came with a jacket. And this one had shoulder pads. I didn't know what to do with my hair, so it always made this hair helmet thing. Look at that. I would just wake up and it would just be like, that's what that looks like when my hair is short. Bless this young child who knew what life had in store for her. Thank you, RB. I don't know how to control my hair. I did finally get it cut though. I did finally get it cut. It's like it was so long. I finally got it cut though. They cut it dry. They cut it dry. And they cut a full foot off of my hair. I'm going to tell you, my hair was so heavy that it was pulling on my scalp all day, and I didn't realize just how heavy my hair was. Oh, no, it's okay to cut my hair dry because it works better with my curly hair to cut it dry. I mean, you really can't even I mean, you can tell that they cut, it was like a foot off of my hair. But yeah, they just dry was better for my hair in this case. But my scalp, oh my gosh, it feels so much better. I probably lost 10 pounds. I don't know how much my hair weighed, but I can feel like a difference on my actual scalp. It's weird. Oh, it just feels so much better because I have a lot of freaking hair. It's a lot of hair. But I can't really rock it short. Not without it looking like a helmet. And they called me hair helmet for a little while. I was also called Betty Boop for a period of time. It's Betty Boop. But my hair is like almost naturally black. So my mom wouldn't let me dye my hair, but my hair is almost naturally black. I dye it this color. And it feels weird not having this color now. But it's okay. It works. All right. Let's do a shout out to Mr. Rogers. It's been an interesting day. Which section should we read from? I love Mr. Rogers. How about the courage to be yourself? How about we jump into that? The courage to be yourself. All righty. How this world according to Mr. Rogers, discovering the truth about ourselves is a lifetime's work, but it's worth the effort. It is, and it is a lifetime's work. It's almost like quantum chemistry. If you think you understand quantum chemistry, you don't understand quantum chemistry. It's kind of the same thing with people, you know? If you think you fully understand yourself, you don't fully understand yourself. I'm not a natural redhead, August. I'm not. My hair is, I need to do my roots, don't I? See, my eyebrows are dark brown, but I do have strong Irish and English ancestry as well as Native American. So yeah, I'm not a natural redhead, but I just keep the same color and do my roots. So I don't constantly dye my hair a lot and make it a problem. But this is really important for self-care. Okay. World according to Mr. Rogers. I'll end it on this one. Some days, doing the best we can may still fall short of what we would like to be able to do. But life isn't perfect on any front. And doing what we can with what we have is the most we should expect of ourselves or anyone else. I need to listen to Mr. Rogers because I'm really hard on myself if I'm not perfect all the time and doing the best I can. Yeah, Hans, I need to lose some pounds too. I need to lose like actual pounds. My pants pre-pandemic don't really fit so great because I have managed to go with the universe on expansion when it comes to my backside. I think NASA's going to start researching my rear end because it's expanding like the universe. So, but yes, I need to lose some pounds there. But we're getting there. Pandemic has been exceedingly difficult on everyone in some form or fashion. And for me, my self-care has really tanked because I was an active person. I was heavily active. I got in work and just walking around campus. Hey Ernie. But I was like active, and now it's like since I've not been so active, I have rheumatoid arthritis and it's kicked in more because I haven't been active. And then when I am starting to be active, that flares up. So I've got to manage that better. And then, of course, the sitting on my butt and working at there, I wear like a size large now, large, extra large. And I used to wear a small medium. I was a solid medium pre-pandemic. So I'm not very happy about that. And then I noticed I was falling into eating disorder crap. So I've been seeing a dietitian since August. I understand, Hans. It's tough. So I've been seeing a dietitian since August to try to start because I didn't have any hunger cues anymore. My hunger cues were completely gone. And so I've had to relearn and retrain my body to actually get hungry because sometimes I wouldn't eat because I didn't have hunger. Other times I would eat even though I didn't have hunger. And so it's just been. So yeah, I'm working on me. We're a work in progress, aren't we? Punch the like button. Yeah, thank you. So I'll read it one more time. Some days, doing the best we can may still fall short of what we would like to be able to do. But life isn't perfect on any front. And doing what we can with what we have is the most we should expect of ourselves or anyone else. So I'm just going to take a little moment, say something about mental health. Say if all you could do today was look after yourself or whatever mental health issues you may have, if all you could do and had the energy for or the spoons for was to look after yourself, I'm still proud of you because no one will be an advocate for you as much as you will be an advocate for yourself. So take care of you. I need to be kinder to myself. We should all be kinder to ourselves. Mr. Rogers would be proud of you for being kind to yourself. So the world according to Mr. Rogers. I will be back here next Saturday. I promise. I will spend time. I enjoy having this time with you. And we have a good time. We talk about the things, right? So you always make each day special for me. You know how? By just your being you. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe and hang in there. Bye.